So you guys have probably seen Elon Musk and Twitter in the news this week. It's sort of the hottest news reported right now. So in today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about Elon Musk and Twitter, and I'm not going to take it from sort of New York Times or Washington Post. I'm going to take it from the SEC, so from the filings between Twitter and Musk. That's it. So the source, I'm going to show you what the source says. And the timelines, I couldn't sort of find, the news articles sort of say he did this and that, but you don't know exactly when, you don't know how it affected the stock price. I'm going to try and show you those things today. But the main reason for making this video is, I went on Google last night, I typed in, what is a poison pill explained, poison pill example, and I couldn't find one. They just, all the websites say this is some defense strategy firms use to prevent hostile takeover, but I could never find what really happens when a firm puts in place a poison pill and it gets executed. What happens? So today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Elon Musk, sort of what's going on, give you a timeline, and get the news from the source. I'm going to take forms from the SEC. I'll put the links to all those in the description below. So we'll talk a little bit about what exactly is going on with Musk and Twitter, and then I'm going to walk you through what a poison pill is and what happens to the main shareholder, the Elon Musk, and what happens to the other shareholders if a poison pill gets put in place and then executed. Sort of show you why Elon Musk doesn't want this thing to get executed. So in the first part of the video, I'm going to talk about Elon Musk and Twitter, what's going on, what's the timeline, what are the specific numbers, share prices. And I'm not going to cite New York Times or Washington Post. I'm only going to cite the SEC, so the raw filings, the raw data. I'll put the links to the filings in the description below. So what's the first thing that happened? On or around March 14th, Musk bought some shares of Twitter. So this is from a SEC 13G filing. At the top, the date is March 14th, the date which requires filing of this statement. A little bit further down, we see name of reporting person is Elon Musk, and percent of class represented, how much did he buy? 9.2%. That's about 73.5 million Twitter shares. That's on March 14th. For the back of your mind, how much did he pay about? It's about $33 a share. That's the price on March 14th. So we don't learn about this acquisition of these shares until April 4th when he actually files the document. So the previous 2 slides ago I showed you March 14th. That's when he bought the shares, but he didn't tell the public until April 4th. So that previous document should have been filed earlier. You're supposed to disclose within 5 days or 3 days when you take a greater than 5% stake in a firm. He waited from March 14th to April 4th. So this is from the same filing as those screenshots I showed you 2 slides ago. So what does this disclosure do to Twitter's share price? Does the market care that Musk is now a big shareholder? The day before he disclosed his position, the share price was $39.31. The day after he disclosed his position, the share price shot to $50. So does the market care? Yes, they really like it. $11 a share increase, or 27%. Firm value increased by 27% just from that disclosure. That's billions and billions of dollars. All right. So on the same day that Musk disclosed his position, Twitter invited him to be a board member. They filed an 8K, which is a current report, which if something significant is going on in your firm, you need to tell the market if you're a firm, and you file an 8K to do that. One of the things that could be changing, that could make a firm have to file an 8K, is you changing your board of directors. So in this 8K, filed on April 4th, Twitter says the company will appoint Mr. Musk to the company's board of directors to serve as a director until 2024. So this happened on the same day. He disclosed his position, then Twitter invited him to be a board member. All on April 4th. Fast forward 5 days to April 8th, Twitter files another 8K. It says on April 9th, Mr. Musk informed the company that he is not joining the board. So 5 days after he was invited to join the board, he said no. Fast forward 4 more days to April 13th. Musk files another SEC 13 and offers to buy the company. This is sort of toward the bottom. It says, I invested in Twitter as I believe in its potential to be the platform for free speech around the globe, and I believe free speech is a societal imperative for a functioning democracy. However, since making my investment, I realize the company will neither thrive nor serve the societal imperative in its current form. Twitter needs to be transformed. As a result, I'm offering to buy 100% of Twitter for $54.20 a share, which is a 54% premium over the day before I began investing and a 38% premium over the day before I disclosed. Twitter has extraordinary potential. I will unlock it. Elon Musk. So if we use this 54% premium and this $54.20, we back out how much Musk says he paid for the shares. It's about $35.19. So April 13th, he offers to buy the firm. When I was going through these forms, something popped out at me. This is just about talking about Elon Musk. He says the principal occupation of the reporting person, that's Elon Musk, is serving as the techno king and chief executive officer of Tesla. I've never seen this word before, so I thought I'd point that out. All right. Fast forward 2 more days, April 15th, Twitter makes a news release, and it says it put a poison pill in place. What's the exact verbiage? Twitter announced that the board of directors has unanimously adopted a limited duration shareholder rights plan. That is the poison pill. So I looked on Google last night, and I couldn't find an example of what a poison pill is. The first hit on Google and sort of all the subsequent hits, they give some generic definition, something like, what's a poison pill? A defensive strategy used by a target firm to prevent or discourage a potential hostile takeover by an acquiring company. Okay, but how does it discourage it? What actually happens in a poison pill? So that's going to be the second part of the video. All right, so now I'm going to go over what a poison pill really looks like in real life. So what happens when a poison pill gets executed? Why does it work as a defense strategy? Why does it make Elon Musk not want to buy more shares of Twitter and makes him want to just go away? What does it do? What actually happens? I couldn't find it on Google, so I'm going to explain it here. I'm going to use a very simple firm. I'm not going to use Twitter with hundreds of millions of shares. I'm going to use a simple firm with only a few shares, so the math is simple. We're going to have a couple different time periods. We'll start with time period 1. So for our simple firm, there are going to be 10 shareholders. Each one is going to own 1 share. I'm going to abbreviate shares SHR. Okay, so 10 shareholders, they each own 1 share. Each share is worth $10. So we have 10 shareholders, each with 1 share, and their shares are worth $10 each. So we can calculate the firm value as the number of shares times the share price. 10 shares, $10 each. The firm's worth $100. So this is time 1. 10 shareholders, each own 1 share. Each share is worth $10. The firm's worth $100. All right, we're moving ahead to time 2 now. In time 2, the firm's going to put a poison pill in place. And what the poison pill, for our example, is going to say is this. If any shareholder takes at least a 20% stake in the firm, the poison pill is going to get executed. So if any shareholder takes greater than equal to 20% stake, then poison pill executed. All right, so for this particular poison pill, what's going to happen if it gets executed is it's going to allow any shareholder who's not the 20% shareholder to buy an additional share for $5. So any shareholder besides the 20% shareholder can buy one additional share for $5. So that's what happened at time 2. The firm put a poison pill in place, which what it says is if any shareholder takes a 20% stake in the firm, all the other shareholders can buy a share, an additional share for $5. Shareholder decides, I want to get out of this stock. I'm going to sell my share to one of the other 9 shareholders. So, one shareholder sells their one share to an existing shareholder. Okay, so the firm's still worth $100. I could say for $10. All right. So now, what do our shareholders look like right now? We have 8 shareholders with one $10 share, one shareholder with 2 $10 shares. Each of these people own 10%, that's 80% of the firm, and this last person owns 20% of the firm, right? So what does that mean? That means the poison pill is going to get executed because it said if anyone owns 20% or more, the poison pill gets executed. So this person owns 20% of the firm, poison pill gets executed. $5. So what does our shareholder base look like now? We have these 8 people, 8 shareholders with 2 shares each, and we have the previously 20% shareholder also has 2 shares, right? So how many shares exist for our firm now? We have 9 shareholders with 2 shares each. Means we have 18 shares outstanding right now. Our firm has 18 shares. It used to have 10, now it has 18. All right? Because these 8, when the poison pill got executed, they spent $5 to buy an additional share. What's firm value now? So the new firm value is going to be the old firm value plus the cash, the new cash the firm just received from selling those 8 shares. So at time 1, the firm value was 100, and it just collected 8 shares times $5 each, or $40. Right? So the new firm value is going to be 100 plus 40, or 140. Right? So now we know the new firm value, we know the new number of shares outstanding, we can find the new share price. It's just the firm value divided by the shares outstanding. So each share is now worth $7.78. So in the new firm, we have 18 shares, each worth $7.78. The firm value is $140. So lots has changed now. Now we're going to go over the new ownership structure and try and see if we can understand why the poison pill works. Why would it discourage Elon Musk from taking over the firm, just buying and buying and buying more shares? So we're going to talk about the 20% shareholder. That's the person who bought the second share right before the poison pill got executed, or that's the person who bought the share that executed the poison pill. And then we have the other 8 shareholders. So we're going to talk about how much did they pay for their shares, what are their shares currently worth, how much of the firm did they own before the poison pill, how much of the firm do they own now. So the 20% shareholder, he bought 2 $10 shares, so 20. These other shareholders, they bought their first share for 10, but their second share for 5. So their cost was only 15. How much are their shares worth? Well, they all own exactly 2 shares. They're all worth $7.78. So they're worth $15.56 and $15.56. This is all the same. They own 2 shares. That person owns 2 shares. Share price is $7.78. Their shares are all worth $15.56 now. So does that make sense? So these other shareholders made a little bit of money. The main shareholder who executed the poison pill, he lost about a quarter of his value. So the ownership right before the poison pill, or right when the poison pill was executed, he owned 20%. When he bought that second share, they all own 10%. Right? He owned 2 shares out of 10. They all owned 1 share out of 10 as the poison pill was being executed. How much do they own now? Well, they all own the same now. They all own 11% now. So why would a poison pill scare Elon Musk from buying more shares of Twitter? Because this would happen. He's going to spend a lot of money to have less money, and he's going to own a lot of percent to own less percent. It's going to chop his ownership way down, not by half, but by close to half, and it's going to kill the value of his shares by a significant amount. So this is what happens when a poison pill gets executed. This is why it would work, because he's going to spend lots of money to own a large chunk of the firm, and as soon as the poison pill gets executed, he's going to own a lot less of the firm. He's going to spend a lot of money to have the value and his ownership cut by the poison pill. So this is why it would discourage Musk or anyone from investing more or trying to take over the firm. This is what happens when a poison pill gets executed. This is why it works. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe below, and if you have comments, please leave them below as well. Thanks.